fucking baby. It is a glorious Monday over here from Helsinki, Finland. It is nice and bright outside, but cold for me, so no sweating abound. And we got plenty to talk about today. Plenty of news, perhaps, as well, that you might be interested in after that little pumpity pump from Friday over there. Anyways, with that said, I see that we got a full house, and once again, we have more than 100 likes, 150 fucking likes before this video even really started. So again, sincere and massive thank you for that. It does help out the channel, but overall, I just want to say thank you, because that's pretty fucking cool. What's up, Mr. Justin Young? I see you over there, man. Mr. Yasek is back in the house as well. Even, there he is, Saint Anna, Mr. Bear himself. I'm never, myself, I'm never bearish enough for the fucking Bears, and I'm never bullish enough for the fucking Bulls. Anyways, with that said, Elsa's awake now. Oh, good morning. You should have woke me up. Someone's still on vacation time. and everyone's having a discussion in the chats right now as to what is the biggest scam. Everything's a fucking scam, man. I was listening to Tone Vase years ago, and everything in their mother is a goddamn scam. You know that's exactly right, Sandra Smith. Anyways, with that said, I do want to get into it right now, but I also would like to wish you the best and the hapsies, because we got plenty to talk about today. How about the big news? How about the big fucking news? Any news? How about that? There actually is some pretty damn big news right now. Hey, what's this? You heard of that Evergrande, that Mexican company? Sorry. You heard of Evergrande obviously having their issues in the early morning hours. They have been suspended for trading, which, you know, is or halted for trading, which is not necessarily like, you know, the worst thing to happen. It does happen somewhat frequently when things are moving. But what is rather interesting over here is that we have several companies now getting halted in Chinese exchanges. What's going on over there? What the fuck is going on in China right now as talks of defaults come into play yet again? And this is going to very likely be reflected upon all major markets. So we get the ever so fun deal, the ever so fun day of finding out, is Bitcoin, or not necessarily today, but probably over the next couple weeks here, but is Bitcoin, is crypto the hedge that I think a lot of people are looking for? To date, over the past 12 years, it has not been, but more, you know, recently it's been a little bit, it hasn't necessarily been positively correlated with traditional markets, nor negatively correlated as well. Just kind of, I'd say, you know, basically no correlation. Not necessarily that I'm too interested in correlations to begin with, but this, you know, would be rather big news. Who the fuck knows what happens in China, obviously, though, because China is, well, at least in my experience, without sounding unfair or undiplomatic here, in my experience, when it comes to trading, there is plenty of Chinese companies that are listed on ARCA that we would, you know, come into collision with. Bad slip of the tongue right there. And I can say this: after dealing with one of those fucking companies and trading them, I never wanted to again. You never know what the fuck they're saying is true. You never know what the fuck, if their data or accounting is solid. There's a lot of games that are played over there. So who the hell knows what happens with this? Maybe the government bails them out, although they have previously said that they are not going to do that. They don't want to set a bad precedent for that. But then again, you know, it's China, so who knows what the fuck happens over there? Maybe they just buy out the company and turn it into a state company. Possible. I mean, anything's possible in fucking China, huh? Anyways, back on over here into the Krown chain application we go, which has the most data, the most quant data that is for the price of actually free in the cryptocurrency lands that I'm aware of, or just in the internet lands in general. And what do we see over here? We actually do see that fear and greed index, funnily enough, has actually come back down to 49. Yesterday it was actually a little bit higher than this, which is rather interesting because Bitcoin was more or less just ranging over the weekend. Bitcoin dominance also actually did take a little bit of a downturn there as well. So I think today would be an interesting day to check in on that. And then of course, for the top 10 best coins, Axie Infinity, just the best of the best, baby. DYDX also on the winners list as well, which has been getting a lot of love recently, obviously. Algorand, Helium, CurveDAO, Tezos, Telcoin, Shiba shitcoins on there as well, Hollow, and EOS. And if you noticed over the weekend, what did we see? What did we see over the weekend? A nice little pumpola. And as we're going to discuss soon enough in the charts, actually, I'll just wait for the charts so that I don't step over my own toes right now. Market data tab. What do we see over here? Global friendly rates are not 0.01%. The highest that we've seen in the last, I don't know, 2 weeks really hasn't been a big deal. You know, this is not consequential to begin with, but again, I would keep a very keen eye on this global leverage ratio over here. The more and more that I look at this, the more and more that I discuss with people who are much more smarter than me, the more and more that I do think that this kind of overweighs a lot of the things and does kind of put in a big bias on general direction and kind of where we're at within the general cycle as well. Also on top of that, open interest starting to head up once again, obviously. We're at about 9.5 billion. Just for reference, the last September 7th high was at about just under 13 billion right there. But I want to point something out right here, as you can very easily see. Motherfucker, my face is in the way. Sorry about that. Let me just. Man, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna get more info to actually switch that pane around, because that's the one that I want to look at the most. And my fucking face is in the midst of it. So what I want to point out right here is that on the global open interest, you know, it's no secret that the leverage in this market is ridiculous, and a lot of games are played with that. It's a game of liquidity, and well, you can certainly generate a lot of liquidity for yourself by fucking over leveraged people, because, you know, we all get greedy, right? And we do, instead of like 2x leverage, which is probably what is more reasonable, maybe even up to 5x leverage, I would say, is probably reasonable. But what do people do? We go all the way up to fucking 100x, baby. And I think even on Binance it was like 125 at some point. Whatever. Anyways, my point is that you can notice here that Bitcoin has been very, very constructive on the lows and putting in, major constructive rallies. Whenever we do see that the global open interest is kind of within this green zone, just to kind of look at it from a colorized perspective. So what do we see over here? Okay, what is going on over here? People are still having the ever-going conversation of is communism legit or not? I think we've done enough experiments in that in the past 100 years. Hundreds of millions have died, and probably not a good idea. Then again, you know what, man? Take your fucking flu vax, huh? Anyways, sorry. Okay, sorry, YouTube algorithm. Just kidding. Go fuck yourself. I don't care if we get demonetized or anything like that, man. I actually make money from trading. Anyways, so what do we see over here? Okay, so anytime that this is in the green zone over here, you know, Bitcoin does put in these pretty monstrous rallies that are sustained, and you can see that once it started to turn yellow, that is essentially kind of been the pain points on the macro scale right here for a while now, hasn't it? Bitcoin's been really, basically been distributing within those regions, to be fair, and you can see that Bitcoin is trying to put in a base around the mid to low 30s, obviously. The question is, though, where do we kind of end up from here? Because if Bitcoin does start to go up and it is leverage led, I would, well, obviously be looking for the global leverage ratio to go up as well. And, you know, these sort of same reads have produced some pretty nasty pullbacks, aka crashes. And now we kind of have a fundamental driver in the background that does seem like we're going to get clarity on whether it's going to be legitimate or not, probably this week, maybe even today actually, but very likely this week. So, you know, if you are bearish, you're probably looking for Bitcoin to topple over here. We'll talk about kind of the areas of interest to be looking for, but for right now, you know, this is concerning. We're not necessarily at the same levels that we did see from September 7th or the prior all-time high, or even before this 30% correction back in last November, but it is up there yet again. So games can be played here is kind of the narrative that I want to be having. On the other side, though, there of course is actually something phenomenally bullish over here, or it's not necessarily phenomenally bullish, but phenomenally good for Bitcoin in general, and that would be the hash rate. As you can see, let me just put back on my stupid face. And the hash rate is, and the hash rate has actually got back up to the same levels that we saw pretty much around the all-time highs. Maybe not necessarily exactly the all-time highs, but when Bitcoin was sustaining within the $50,000 region. And it is a common notion and something that I do agree with, that hash rate does precipitate price action. So I'm interested to see how this goes on over here. You know, this is good. This is technically speaking what I think would kind of qualify as anti-fragile from Nassim Taleb's ideology there, in the sense that, well, yeah, the initial moves to the downside, obviously, but what happened after China banned essentially miners? Well, they find houses elsewhere, and it recovers what I would consider relatively fast. I mean, when you're looking at like a 10-year scale, is something that recovers in about 2 to 3 months, fast. Fuck yeah, it is. So that would be long-term good. And this is where I'm probably going to lose a lot of people. I can both be simultaneously looking for new all-time highs before end of year, whilst also potentially entertaining a move, back down below even $40,000, which I've gotten a lot of shit for, but understand what I'm saying over here, because it is rather nuanced, and we're going to go through it right now. But first things first, let's start off with the Hang Seng Index. This is China's major indice right here, and what do you fucking know, baby? What do you fucking know? Back on the lows. We haven't necessarily hit our target just yet. Our target was borne upon by the breakdown of 27,000 over here to about 23,000. whatever their denominating currency is. I think it's the yuans, or who knows what the fuck they price it in over there. Funny money, some monopoly bullshit. But we do see that continuation is the name of the game right here. Obviously, the hidden bearish divergence has already played out, but we do see that weekly jewel is getting another downside twist over there. Not necessarily good, and volatility, while it has gotten pretty damn high over there, I do think that we have one more drive to go, and that probably does put in the lows, to be fair. Looking at the monthly over here, we would be right along the bottom side of the Gaussian channel, which I do think is of relevance. And that's where I would be expecting, at the very least, a pity bounce, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. And that's, you know, around your low 23,000 territory. So if that area starts to break, then yes, you know, we can march it on onwards and downwards. But I'm not necessarily going to be the first person to look for like a generational just upside move to get faded just yet. However, you know, there is a few things of interest right here, to be fair. If we do take out, or not if we, but if Hang Seng Index takes out its prior lows, and we have our first lower lows in a very long time on the monthly. By the way, on the monthly, hidden bearish divergence on the last high, but again, that's very likely already played out. And would we have a lower high as well? Yes, we would. This high versus this high, that would be a lower high. And fair enough, send it back to the fucking abyss. We can also go look at Evergrande as well, which I imagine is probably not trading, you know, as we spoke. Oh my fucking lord. Just absolutely beat to shit. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's trading right now. Should have a timer on that if it was, and we do not. So fair enough. Some weirdness going on right there. Now I want to get into Bitcoin here, or just get into crypto in general, actually, and talk about a few things. So I have the Gaussian channel on right now. You can see that Bitcoin still is actually yet to take out its prior highs from middle of September at around the 48,300 territory, to be exact. While we did get a test there yesterday, just above 49, it was quickly rejected along the top side of the Gaussian channel. So I do still look at this as, you know, somewhat potentially concerning. Do we have potential hidden bearish divergence to also accompany this as well? We would, if we confirm a lower high right here. So is it confirmed as a lower high just yet? No, absolutely not. So what I'm about to talk about, before people rip me to fucking shreds like last week, is not actionable, just like last week, as long as you do not actually break and confirm a nice little lower high right here. So how would you confirm a lower high right here on a daily? What would be like the quickest way to do it? In the most aggressive way, at least in my book right here, it would be a 4-hour dildo closure below 46.5. Would I use that myself? I'd probably use at least a 12-hour in this case, because I do think that you know, this would be quite a big deal if it does happen, and that would also imply, you know, another move all the way back down, pretty much to our current lows, and potentially even set Bitcoin up for a little bit of a breakdown further on down the road. But to be fair, all other higher term timeframes for Bitcoin are, you know, more or less good here. The 5-day closed rather well. The weekly, same thing here too, and that does deserve some respect. And of course, the quarterly, as we did speak about last week, right on over here. Let me actually just get this back on over here. Just disregard that that red line. That's kind of what we were speaking about on Jason's channel yesterday, which you can check out that interview, by the way, if you happen to give a fuck. But, you know, based off the quarterly, I would be looking for new all-time highs probably before end of year. Does that necessarily mean that it's, you know, destined to hit the 6-digit number before end of year? I don't fucking know, but I would generally be bullish before end of year. But does that mean that we could also not come up with a bit of a backfill before then? Well, to be fair, all quarterly reversals in Bitcoin's history have been met with backfills on the actual reversal dildo. So if we go back on over here, you can see this one on January 2020, backfilled right here. Next month, this one over here was a reversal in January 2019. Actually, it was not backfilled immediately. It was actually backfilled over here, but before making new all-time highs, obviously, as well. And then, of course, our reversal before that was way on over here, backfilled immediately. This one over here, backfilled immediately. This one over here, backfilled immediately, and this one over here, backfilled immediately as well. And thus far, have we gotten a backfill in last quarterly open? No, we have not. And where would that be? Anywhere in the mid 30s is fair game. It doesn't necessarily need to be like 1-to-1. Like if Bitcoin tagged 37 or 38, that'd probably be fine as well. But overall, something to be considerate of, because as we're going to go through some altcoins over here, which I do think is actually somewhat compelling, you will notice perhaps something similar to myself as well, that as long as Bitcoin's operating on, you know, on lower highs, it is just another lower high, and we are within the context of a downtrend. Now, if I am going to look for a continuation from this price point as well, what I essentially be looking for, I'd essentially be looking for the same things that we spoke about over the last few days here. That would be either a daily closing high, higher high in this case. Let's just call it like 48 and some odd change. If I'm going to be using a full hour, what would I be using right here? I'd want to see a closure basically above 49,000 bucks in this case. One of those two things would work for me. And of course, CME obviously not trading over the weekend, somewhat of a different setup right there as well. Although for right now, this would still be a little bit more on the bullish side, to be fair. This would still be more on the bullish side. And technically speaking, if you are trading this from a troll and demand perspective, your target should be, theoretically speaking, somewhere around about 50,000 bucks. You could maybe argue that we got that yesterday and it did get front ran, possible, yes, but let's run through some shitcoins over here and see, because we would expect this market to mostly be moving with each other, right? As it typically does. So let's go over to Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum obviously on a lower high as well, getting rejected by the topside Gaussian channel right there. And would we have hidden bearish evidence right here? Actually no, because it is ever so slightly a lower high on RSI as well. This one 56.72 versus 56.50. Yeah, technically not there, so fair enough. But again, where would I start to get, bearish is not the right term, but looking for like some decent downside back down below 3,000 bucks. Well, 3,200 would be the pivot for myself. Very, very simply put right there. What do we see over here with Cardano? Cardano, obviously a bit of a laggard recently, and this one already is actually populating hidden bearish evidence if it does close here or lower by end of day. Obviously a lower high as well, and that would imply targets back down to about $2, perhaps a little bit later this week. What about AVAX? Does AVAX doing anything? Actually has a drive of phantom div potentially populating itself. I don't know if I trust that. I mean, this is still an obviously bullish chart long term, so that would be this was an outlier. Just let it fucking run, do its thing, just like Axie. What about BNB? Are we operating on lower highs? Yes, we are. Do we have hidden bearish evidence potential? Yes, we do. If we close here or lower, very interesting. What about Dogecoin over here? Obviously lower highs again. And would we have hidden bearish evidence? We would have significant hidden bearish evidence actually. So making a lot more higher highs on RSI and getting rejected by the bottom side of the Gaussian channel. This is what weakness looks like on a shitcoin, sirs and zers. What about FTT? Same thing, another one of the more traditionally strong, or at least for the last few months, but we do have hidden bearish evidence right here. If it does close here or lower by end of day, that being about 55 and a quarter or so. And what do we see over here with Link? We do certainly have lower highs right here between that point and that point. And do we have higher highs on RSI? No, we do not. So no bearish evidence or hidden bearish evidence possible right there. Litecoin, what do we see right here? Same thing. This one, it looks like, this one actually not gonna have hidden bearish evidence as well, but certainly lower highs for right now, and kind of hard to be bullish on as long as you're below about 174 or so on a daily closing basis. What do we see over here with Matic? Yep, same thing over here. The Gaussian channel actually already turning red, by the way. And what do you fucking know, man? Making massively higher highs on RSI compared to our last lower high, which was 142.5, currently topping out at around 127.8. So, any sort of closure here or lower, probably send it back down to the bottom side of the channel, 109, 110 region. What do we see over here for mid perps? Just getting a general overview of the shitcoin market, or sorry, the mid perp market, like the non super shit, but like kind of also not super great. Again, lower highs for right now. Would we have hidden bearish evidence? No, we would not. So that one's that certainly does not fit the bill. What do we have over here? Here we have the shitcoin perps, and yes, definitely lower highs yet again, and kind of hard to be bullish on as long as you're above about, as long as you're below about 65, 75. This is where you'd be looking for your lower highs, obviously. What about Stellar? Oh, nasty, fucking nasty, baby. Already populating the hidden bearish divergence. Any sort of a closure below about 30 cents or basically, sorry, 30 and a half cents, that is. We'll do it. And what do we see over here? Am I boring you to death yet? But, I do think that this is rather interesting. What about Monero? Monero, yep, would have hidden bearish evidence, but does not have a lower high in just yet. Needs to close below about 250 even. XRP, same thing. Doesn't have it in there just yet. Needs to close below about 101 or so. And we would have hidden bearish evidence and send it back down to 90 cents or so. So be aware of that. And of course, going back to Bitcoin over here, I just forgot the point I was going to make. Oh yes, let's go over to our weekly momentum oscillators. How about that? We do see weekly Stokes actually turning down. Now, this is not a death sentence in and of itself because we're kind of right around that striking distance anyways, and typically when it's in this region, that is a more bullish thing than not. But to be fair, momentum will remain to the downside as long as below 52,250 or so on a weekly closing basis. I imagine that's probably same on CME. Yep, about 52,000 bucks right there. So very, very interesting. I do think that this week, if you are going to be bearish, this is probably the week week to be doing it, but is it actionable just yet? No, it is not, or at least in the way that I trade, it's not. I need to see confirm local high, and then probably send it back down to the low $40,000 territory, and then at that point you're still kind of you can still have targets low, obviously. So I'd like to take it like one step at a time, like a normal fucking person, but fair enough on that. Let's see. What about lower term time for momentum? Also just right here, 4-hour Stokes. Or sorry, let me actually go to CME so I don't make the same stupid boneheaded mistake as last week. Yep. What do you know? 4-hour Stokes down as long as below 48,500. Interesting. Buy hourly Stokes down as long as below 48,600. Interesting as well. And hourly down as long as below about 48,600 as well. I wonder if that's consistent with spot price action. Yeah, spot price action is on the other end of the spectrum right here, actually about to cross up. On the hourly, buy hourly is way up there. Yep, 4 hours way up there as well, and daily is it's in no way, shape, or form in potential violation. So what am I going to do to protect my testnet account? Again, not fucking real money over here, but I think I'll buy another put spread expiring 15th October. Do something like that. Let's see, where can we spread these babies out? Oh, I can sell to 35 easy. Nice. I will be doing that. Thank you. And let's sell like there or two against it, just in case we'd like to reduce cost. All right, nice one, sweet. And for reference, I'm still holding about the same positions. I am delta long, just for argument's sake. Again, I'm not necessarily like long-term bearish on this, but I do think depending upon what happens these next few days, could be very revealing. We'll put it that way. So that's essentially what I'm doing right there. And again, just the general overview of my portfolio, or sorry, of my positional risk. Almost 16 deltas long, actually, in fact. So there you go. P&L going up like the like a rising phoenix. However, I suspect that a lot of that is just marks, and I'll probably give a little bit of that back. But that's okay. Okay, we started this account at like between 10 and 15 bitcoins, and now we're up to 34. I imagine that'll probably come down to 30, so we'll lose a bit, but that's okay. Anyways, it's all about preservation and just marching onwards and forwards here. Anyways, again, the daily, I wouldn't necessarily be looking for continuation here to $50,000 plus targets as long as Bitcoin's below that last lower high. I mean, that's as simple as it gets right there. Yes, the higher term time frames still do look good, so that's kind of what I'd be marking things off of right here if I do want to be bullish. If I want to be bearish, again, I'm looking for a 4-hour closure at maximum in this case. If I want to be super aggressive, which I would not be, below about 46, let's say 46, and that'd probably be fine. 46.5 for a 12-hour and a daily would do it for me as well. And then I'd probably be looking for another move back down here, to be fair. Anyways, some people have asked me, like, how do I actually trade? I actually don't look at pretty much, I will look at some of these charts here. They are useful, yes, but when it comes to trading, I want things as simple as fucking possible. Here's my trading chart. Simple as it fucking gets, baby. Simple as it fucking gets. I think I was pointing a red arrow over there showing Pena my little, I was practicing some price action trading over the weekend, showing Pena what I was looking at. Got this scalp over here based off of this little rejective wick right there. Worked out well, man, and something that I'm actually very keen on learning more about. It's very, very powerful. I have a strong amount of respect for it, but I need to differentiate price action trading versus like draw a line on chart people that you typically see around social medias, which I think is, I could see how you'd scalp that, but I'd be very interested to see where those actually lead. I'll put it that way. I put it that way. Anyways, okay, cool. I think we got through all of that right now. I know that I'm missing a few things here too, because my brain is telling me that I definitely have, but we'll probably come to it a little bit later. Again, if you want the 5-second rundown, above 49, good. Below 46, bad. On a 4-hour, if you're using a daily, you can maybe say like 48.5 or so, just above this this high right here in this case. And on a daily, I'd say about 46.5 to the downside would be pretty damn bad as well. So yeah, there we go. Again, if things really are going to be catastrophic based off of whatever the fuck Evergrande and China does, you're probably going to see it first spill over into the US markets, if I had to guess, and that's probably going to be around their open as well. Let's go check out NASDAQ actually. NASDAQ still hanging on to the lows, does not look like a strong bounce just yet, obviously, but it never does until it actually does bounce. But this is still downside angled here, to be fair. What about SPY? Where's my SPY? I changed around my damn tickers over here, so I'm going to have trouble shooting around here. So Motherfucker, it's got to be ES, so it's alphabetized now, which is not a wise idea. A little bit stronger. Let's see, what does daily look like? Yeah, daily could easily bounce back up to 44. I mean, that's not asking for too much. Well, I know that King Cosmic is here, so you know what? Let's actually do SPY right now. How about that? Weekly, you know, are we going to open up on a bounce? Probably yes. How high does the bounce get? Kind of same thing as last week. I think that we could very easily get somewhere around like 4390 to 4400 or so. That's not what I have strong opinions about. My strong opinions are this is very likely to lead towards more downside and significant downside. The 15 to 20% correction that I've been speaking about coming in October or November, which dare I say that we might actually be looking in front of our very faces right now, you know, over the next couple of weeks here. And I'm probably looking for, you know, low 4,000s to be fair. Not all in the same day, obviously, you know, market doesn't go down the same day, but for even on the hourly right here, we're still in a downtrend, obviously. So hard chart to love, actually. Here's where I start to look for a continuation back to new lows, actually, below about 43.10, 43. Let's just call it 43 even on an hourly. And yeah, I'd be looking for a return to the lows, probably another anemic bounce there, and then, you know, carried on throughout the rest of the week. Of course, we also got the moons. I forgot that. Yeah, the old fucking moons over there, huh? God damn it. Show me the fucking moon chart. There we go. I do believe that we have a bear on moon going on right now. So if you believe in the rocks, well, then you probably already know, I guess. Or do we actually have it right now? No, technically not, but it should be tonight, I guess. I guess probably tonight. All right, cool. Let's see. I see a few comments over here. I think that we can get into them now. So all good. It has Elsa sent them to me. Let's see if she got the first ones. Okay, I actually have the first ones over here, so no problem. What's up, Jarl Koshai? Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Fern, daily, and weekly, please. Looking for a good long-term entry. All right, so we got some real stocks over here. This is good. I like real stocks. They actually do something fucking different, huh? But today's going to be a very interesting day to look at altcoins, actually. Just because we'd expect, you know, the market to generally be moving with each other, and we have a shitcoin of a chart here. What the fuck, man? What the actual fuck? Nice little rejection. I'd be looking for this one to trade back down towards, I don't know, somewhere just below 3 cents or so, and then come back to it after that. I don't really. You're looking for a good long-term entry. I don't know what long-term means to you, but I probably wouldn't want to touch this thing as long as you're above even like a cent. This is kind of your accumulation zone below about 0.035 or so. So, you know, take that as you will, man. Monthly still good though. So, you know, if you were more short term, I'd say I'd be looking for bounces at about 2.7 cents, but that's apparently not what you're doing here. But yeah, you know, anywhere between about 2.2 to 2.7 is kind of where we're looking for a bit of a bounce. Below there, I'd be looking for this thing to kind of melt down once again. And that's probably where long-term opportunities really do arise. But again, I don't know what long-term means to you. Maybe long-term means to you like years. Maybe long-term means to you months. Maybe long-term means to you like a couple weeks. That kind of means long-term to me, to be fair. But yeah, fair enough right there. I'd be looking for this one to come down rather hard over the next couple months here, probably into November, and play out its way down somewhere around like low 1 cent. And then come back to it after that. Scrambled eggs are a scam. Are they really? Holy shit, man. I've been living a lie for so long now. No wonder. Oh my lord. I'm fucked for breakfast now then. Jesus. All right, let's see what else we got over here. King Cosmic, we already got you. Nice one. Sachin Shwarma says, Mantra DAO, OMUSD. Okay. Hey man, I'm glad to hear that it's been in some way helpful. So that's great. Cool. Let's see. OMUSD. Okay. Daily and hourly. Gotcha. Okay. Hourly. This range in here looks like it wants to come down a little bit to the bottom side of the range. Daily. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see where the weekly ended up. This one is actually rather interesting. 5 days still bullish. The higher term time frame is still bullish, and the reason why I'm looking at these is because I need a bit help on the bias. Here's the thing, man. I would not be bearish on this thing as long as you're above about 22 cents in this case. If you're going down to the hourly, do I think that it's going to test around there? Probably yes, but I would not call a break just yet unless you start to close down below there on like a 12-hour or daily. And at that point, that would be very, very concerning, looking for moves down to like 1.6.5, 1.7. Until then, it's kind of like Bitcoin. All higher term time frames still bullish here. This is still fine. Technically speaking, on the weekly, should be looking for a move back up to 29.5 cent. Same thing on the 5 day as well. And the 5 day can actually trend here as well. It does look like a potential reversal. So until that 22 cent region does get taken out, I suppose I would err on the side of upside, but You know, this one's going to move with the rest of the market, so it is on the stronger side, to be fair. It's just, well, if the rest of the market dumps out, well, I'd be looking somewhere back down around about 16 cent, maybe lower over time. This music sounds like World War III. That's exactly right, baby. World War III is right looming in front of our very faces right now, isn't it? It was pretty fucking loud, but I guess you were slumbering, I suppose. Fucking knew there was something fishy about scrambled eggs. That's exactly right, man. Okay, let's see. I have missed all the other comments now, so if I did miss you, then yeah. So I'm just gonna start with where Elsa has. Hi, Desert Garden. Okay, this would be another another thing that I did miss earlier. So thank you for calling this one out. Dixie chart. Okay, so Dixie chart over here, as we identified on Thursday, the reversal was confirmed. The reversal is real, and much higher prices are very likely coming for this baby after a bit of a short-term pullback, which we're getting right now. How low can this pullback come? Can come all the way down to even like another quarter lower. But overall, and let me just make sure that I'm actually... Okay, yeah, you said Dixie's on its way up. So traditional markets might see a larger correction. Crypto markets going down too. You know, technically speaking, that's not a full and like accurate assessment for the reason that Dixie is obviously related to a basket of other fiat currencies, but theoretically it probably does put some downside pressure on price action. Here's the thing though, you know, Dixie will go up if all other nations that it's measured against, which is just, you know, a basket of like the major currencies, print more than the US essentially, or just have more relaxed policies. But in this case right here, obviously bullish, man, and obviously, you know, at least coming up to like 96 over the next few months. I wouldn't even be surprised to see this thing back around 97 and a half, maybe like early 2022. So does that theoretically put downside pressure on price action for equities and cryptos by extension, or just everything in the world? I mean, technically, yeah. Probably yes. I'm curious where like macro moves on the monthly have come in around when it comes to actual trend, because when you look at the actual moves themselves, Bitcoin was obviously rallying from January 2021 all the way to March 2021, just as Dixie was as well. But this was still within the context of a bottoming down trend. But let's see, where can we kind of measure this one out from? No, I don't even think it would actually work now that I look at it. No, I don't know how much a weight I put on it on an immediate move for other markets in this case, because obviously this thing was rallying all the way from March 2018 to basically March 2020. Well, what was the rest of the markets doing? They're around in the same way as well. And over here, when they're coming down, I mean, this was all marks coming down as well. Let's see, Farhan or Farhan. Oh, what's up? Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, I do have them. Okay, nice. Thank you for that, Nimbo. Okay, we're actually already at Farhan, so I think that we got everyone here. This is good. This is very nice. Thank you for that, Nimbo. Appreciate that, man. Good morning, sir. CELR, 4-hour daily, please. Sure. All right, let's check them out. USD right here. Okay. Really, really good on the monthly, obviously, but what time frames are you looking at here? 4-hour and daily, that is. Daily, good as well. Very, very good, actually. I'd probably be looking for a move back to almost 17 cents. 4-hour, same thing as well. Another higher low right here. Bullish Evergrande come off the low, looking good. This would be an example of a strong altcoin, taking out this past little prior high on the 2nd of October over the weekend, and I'll be looking for this one to reach towards almost like 16 and a half, 17 cents. And this is obviously a very good chart long term. I wouldn't even be surprised to see this one go for a continuation, maybe even this week, but probably later this month if I had to guess. Yeah, pretty damn good. Where would I change my opinion on that? Where are things being validated? Actually, very simply put, below 14 cents, looking for moves back down to 10 cents and pray for a bounce there. Let's see, Blockchain Barber, what's up, man? Hey, awesome, man. Glad to hear. Great stuff for Incel sickos. That's a new one. Do you know what an incel is? You know what an incel is? You do? What is it? It's a guy who's a virgin. I think it's a guy who's a virgin who doesn't want to be a virgin. FTM, 4-hour, 6-hour, 12-hour daily. Okay. No, because there's some guys who like want to be celibate. They no, well, I think incels typically do hate women because they're like. That's right. I hate you so much that I live with you. 4-hour, 6-hour, 12-hour, and daily. That's quite the spread there. But yeah, let's start off with the daily here. bit of a high in the making. It looks like would actually have some phantom div going on over here, because technically we did close on a slightly higher high. Would need to close today below about 144, and that would confirm it. So anywhere here or lower would do it. And yeah, I'd be looking for a short-term move down to about 130, very likely a bounce there, and then continuation all the way down to 104. Lower term time frames, you know, short term does have that same bearish divergence right here too, but you know, that doesn't really have as nasty of a target as a daily would. 134 30 is kind of where I'd be looking for. 6 hour. Do we have it here as well? No, we do not. But no, we do not. 12 hour. Same thing. Probably even front run the daily bearish divergence if this one does close the 12 hour below about 143, and I'll be looking for a move down to about 133. Obviously, invalidation back above about 149 or so. And probably looking for a move into like the 160 territory if that were to happen. But again, you know, a strong altcoin, relatively speaking. This is actually a pretty damn good chart long term, no doubt about that. But even the strong are not immune, perhaps. Anyways, let's see. Did we already get cello? Did we already get cello or not? CELO, CGLD, daily weekly says Eligio. A nice name, very exotic, sir. CELO. Okay. This thing, or is it CLGD? No, it's CLO. Here we go. Let's try this one over here on Derpnats. And what time frames are we looking at, sir? 4 hour and daily. Nice. We have a lot of people giving time frames today. This is good. Down. Nice little distributive lower high right here. Looking for a move down to about 169. Or sorry, not 569 in this case. Invalidation on this would be back above about 645, but it's not bad on the daily. Again, you know, long term, not a bad chart. Very good chart long term, at least for the history that we have. But does it play out some downside alongside the rest of the market? Perhaps yes. Here's the thing though. What if, or sorry, you know, the daily is certainly not as bad as the 4 hour. The 4 hour is the one that's showing the downside right here. I would invalidate this back above about 645, but for right now, yeah, it'd be more downside angled than not. What about a 12 hour? Yeah, I would be more downside angled in this case. 569 or so. Look for a little bit of a short-term bounce right there and then come back to it after that. Oh, you're looking at a daily and a weekly. That's going to change things around. Weekly, really good. If it does want to correct, you know, anywhere around low $5 is completely fine. Again, this is a very good long-term chart for what it's worth. Daily, same thing. I mean, if it comes back down to like low $5, that's completely fine. Long-term would be very good. You know, I was actually looking at short-term there. Sorry about that. My apologies. Cami Cars Creation says, hello, Sir Krown. What's up, man? AXS weekly Bollinger Band. Sure. Okay. Let's see what you're looking at over here. I don't know if the weekly is going to be too helpful in this. Okay, it's not too far away. Yeah, Axie's bullish as fuck still. Bullish as fuck, man. Let's do a video on this one. Here we have Axie Infinity, symbol AXS versus the dollar, and we have a phenomenally bullish altcoin chart yet again. We've been bullish on this one for a very long time, and I have no real reason not to be over here, even as ridiculous as this chart looks at this point. Here's a real chart, by the way. Just insane. But as long as we're trending above the topside Toronto bands here, which we did just close above the topside yet again after another month-long correction, I am bullish, and I'm looking for new all-time highs actually probably this month, or very likely this month, maybe even this week. In fact, we already got it this week, so probably just continuation here. That condition will be met as long as we're closing weekly deltas above 130. Let's go down to a daily right here. You know, it could easily come back down and swipe around 127.5. However, I'd be looking for a bit of a bounce solo right there. We're looking at over here with my regular tools and see what we got. Daily still really good. So short-term downside moves very likely do get picked up. Same thing on 4 hour. This is just continuation, bullish on all time frames basically. The question is, does it have a little bit of a short-term downside move first or not? I don't have a strong opinion on that. Let's see where the momentum pivots are over here. See what we got. Axie on this chart. Daily remains the upside as long as above 125. Currently trading $13 plus above there. Not bad. Weekly 127.5. Yeah, this thing's fucking going. 4 hours 132.5. So I would signal a little bit of short-term caution below 132.5 and look for that correction down to, you know, mid 120s probably. But overall, this is the best chart that we've seen today. A very impressive chart. The 5-day is continuation here. Again, I don't know how much more this rally really has to go, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing make another leg here. Let's see where our projections. Oh, actually, I already have one from the last major base. Yeah, we do have some areas of interest right around about $1.50, but that's not a big one. The big ones are actually $200, and that would be more long term, obviously. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Axie. Definitely the best chart that we've seen today. Nice one. Chester Adlin says anything less than 1 USD hex is FUD. Thoughts? Well, we can check that out. We got the Hex brothers back in the house here. Let's see. I still think that hex is very likely topped out here, man. I think it's giving you multiple chances to get out here too. Where would I change my mind on this? You know, where would invalidation be? Obviously, you know, back above about 46 cent. This last little rejective high right here. I would in no way, shape, or form be bearish on this one, or considering this a local high going on right now. But we do have a slew of lower highs. 1, 2, 3. We still got higher lows to be fair as well. So it is in a bit of a consolidation, obviously, but these are a little bit more aggressive on the lower high spectrum there. So I would be a little bit more weighted towards the downside, also based off the weekly closure, also based off the 5-day closure and the weekly closure right here as well. These are, at least in my book, these are tops is what they are most likely. But back above 46 cent, I would get bullish on this thing, and I would be targeting probably a pretty damn big move. Let's do another extension, because this one plays really technically. If I could actually trade this thing, I would, because like this has been one of the easier charts to get for the past like 6 months since we started looking at it. I don't know about a buck, but I would be looking for moves probably towards 60, the mid 60s, maybe even 69 cent. A buck would not be my first target, certainly. I'd put it that way. So yeah, man, you know, invalidation back above about 46 cent or so on a daily closure. Until then, I'd still look for this one to probably trade a bit more sideways, and well, we'll come back to it after that perhaps. All right, cool. Let's go back to Bitcoin over here. Elsa's having a laugh attack in the background, so hey, keep it down. Oh, the trolls are back. Oh dear lord. Oh nice. I love how the trolls actually set an alert for when the stream goes live, just so that they can just so that they can dislike it, which is great. I'm glad that you like position your whole day around that, which is fucking insane. But hey, you know what? I sincerely hope that your day goes better, sir. What's up, D's Crypto Nuts? Hi, sir. Got your TA program learning a lot. Awesome, man. Cardano 1 hour for a time frame. Sure. Check out what we got over here. See how the lower term time frames are looking. Actually, maybe not cracking, but go to derp now. It's over there. All right, let's take this one over here. Let's get these off. Very short term, like an hourly, might give you another bounce to 220, maybe even much as 224. But I look at this as very likely extending the downside move towards 210. Probably another short-term bounce there, and then maybe extension down to $2 even. We just got another lower high right here. We do see a bit of a distributive pattern going on. I believe. I guess I kind of already have it in there, but I got too many lines on this chart, and I don't like that. Let's make this one nice and simple. What do you have? You have your same lows right there. You got lower highs coming in from right here. You know, can fill out the space a little bit more, but especially as long as you're below about 230, I am looking for downside on this one. And what I really be paying attention to here, I know you didn't ask for it, but the daily. If the daily closes here or lower, that's another lower high and hidden bearish divergence. And I'd be looking, yeah, for a move down somewhere around low $2 actually. That's kind of what I'd be looking for. Again, invalidation above, what was it, like 225 or so? Yeah, I'd say invalidation back above about 226 in this case. I would probably do it. Until then, not my favorite chart here. Yeah, 12 hour already looks like it wants to do. If the 12 hour even closes below 220, send this baby back down to 203, 204 region. Not look good. Yeah, it would not look good right there. Interesting. And again, a lot of these bounces put in over the weekend. Just an interesting observation there. Cameron, actually, let me record this one. This one might be relevant. Here we have Carderpio, symbol ADA versus the dollar, and we have a bit of an interesting chart going on right here on all time frames. In fact, we're on the 12 hour right here, and if this thing does close basically here or lower or anywhere really below about 220, we will confirm hidden bearish divergence on the 12 hour and also break the exponential on that as well, and also break structure within the format of a lower high structure. And I'd be looking for another move down to low $2 in this case. Looking at a daily, we got the same sort of potential signature here as well. And if we go down to the 4 hour here, you know, it's a little bit of an early breakdown. However, I do think that it could have a very short-term bounce back up to like 223 if it wants, maybe even 2.25. But I would not invalidate this as long as you're below about 227, or sorry, 226 to 227 in this case. Let's go over here. What momentum oscillators look like right now and see if those align with some of the pivots. 4 hours downside as long as below about 229 in this case. Daily is 207.5. Okay, so that's fine. 12 hour will turn back down below 218. Keep that number in mind. And hourly is doing what? Is going to flip back up here. So maybe a little bit of a short-term bounce, bouncy bounce here. But I do hold reservations on this one below. Let's call it 227 in this case. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Cardano. Nice one, man. Let's see. Cameron says, "Morning, Krown. What's up, man? Crazy good insight with Jason yesterday. Yeah, man. I really enjoy my our conversations with each other, and he'll definitely be on this channel again. He's actually been on once before, and I've been on his channel before as well. He's a really reasonable guy. Just, I mean, he says it, straight up at the beginning of his streams. It's like, this is your non-hopium crypto channel. It's like, yeah, he's a reasonable guy. He's traded a bunch of different markets, and his brother's pretty cool as well. Actually, I've been checking him out. Yeah, they're both great. And in those Australians, man, especially those Australians from like the Brisbane area, they're always just super chill. It's just, I have a couple other friends from that area, and they all talk the same way, and they're just very easy to get along with. Anyways, you're looking at Solana, short, medium, and possible end of year price targets. Sir, I don't there's no such thing as that. I can look at it, and I recall earlier this one actually was looking pretty damn good, all things considered. So let's see where we're at right now. Oh, what do you know? A little bit of bearish divergence populating itself. All right, let's get rid of this. Not necessarily relevant right now. Neither is this, and let's just delete all that. Here we have Solana, symbol SOL versus the dollar, and we have a little bit of an interesting setup right here. Any sort of a closure here or lower by end of day, maybe even on the 12-hour as well. 12-hour I'd like to see below about 166 for this to apply, but we will confirm actually regular bearish divergence right here, as this did make a higher high above this high, and that would imply a short-term downside move somewhere around about 155 to 150-ish region, probably another bounce there. But does Solana go through a more prolonged range between basically this 180 level and the 130 level down here? Probably yes, if that's going to be the case. 5-day, long-term, very good, very fucking good long-term. So if you are thinking about end of year, I guess we could maybe try quarterly and see what it looks like. Or sorry, not this one, but actual quarterly, not a fucking biannual. I mean, very good, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing try around its prior time highs, maybe make new ultimate highs by end of year. But are we looking a little more corrective right now? Probably, yeah. Looking at 4-hour right here, what do we see? Well, we do see a bit of a short-term top, a little bit of bearish divergence coming in right there. However, I would invalidate everything that I said priorly, or not necessarily that, because it's not necessarily confirmed to begin with, but I would be looking for another move up almost immediately if this thing does essentially take out the last 4-hour high, in this case at about 175. I would be looking for this one to pop back up towards 190 plus, and this thing can roll on from there. But I'm more inclined to say this one plays out this more long-term range right here. Don't even need to smash it in the middle right there, although I would expect a bit of a short-term bounce there at the very least. But anywhere between here is long-term very good, long-term very healthy. Again, among the better charts that we have seen. But I do want to check it out as far as momentum oscillators go. Let's see. What do we have over here? Hourly remains down as long as below 168. Not necessarily too helpful right there. 4-hour will remain down as long as below 175.5. Okay, interesting. 12-hour also will be down as long as below 173.5. Elsa, stop screaming in the background, and daily is below about 139. So not really an issue right there. But 12-hour would probably be good enough to get this baby back down to about 150 and probably bounce there and then come back to it tomorrow. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Solana. Let's see. What's up, Martin Hunt? Morning to you as well. Can we look at algo for our daily? Sure. Okay. This one was very popular a couple weeks ago. Where are we now? Yeah, I mean, this is still among the better charts, definitely. Yeah, pretty damn good long term. The question is, what time frames are you looking at? You're looking at a 4-hour and daily. Let's go down to a 4-hour first. Still pretty good. I mean, yeah, it is in a bit of a consolidation range. I'm not necessarily certain that it's like ready just yet, but this is good long term. Like, that's what I want to be on record as saying. The main areas to be aware of is obviously basically where you just spiked up to right there at 207.5, and all the way down here at about 165. So do I think that you could go through a more prolonged correction here? Let me just mark off the only areas that I think really actually matter here. Boom and boom. Do I think that you found some liquidity over here and then force it back down, maybe down to 165, 170 over the next couple of weeks? Maybe. Long term, very good though. Daily actually technically still pretty damn good. Daily Jewel still suggesting up. So I would negate what I just said right there and look for a general move. Actually, in this case, probably back up to like 230, 240 if this thing does pop back up and close above about 215. What about on a 4-hour? Yeah, if you just close above this current wick high, that would do it for me as well. And then I'd be looking for that move to 230, 240-ish region. Until then, I'm a lot more inclined to say that this one does come back down. Let's see what the hourly looks like right now. I didn't ask for it, but I mean, this one is still pretty damn strong. Let's see what are we looking like over here. What are we looking like over here? Daily still up as long as above 161. Okay, very good. What about 12 hour? Down below 193.5. 4 hour down below 203. So I'd actually kind of run this one off the 4 hour below that pivot. Until then, you know, a little bit of sideways right here. If you start to see closures below there, I'd probably be looking for this one to correct into later this week, and then maybe give another try later this month or November. Again, invalidated back above about basically your current high right here. And technically speaking, all momentum oscillators are bullish on this thing. So I am actually going against what my indicators are saying right here, but I'm kind of doing this more on market analysis rather than individualistic analysis. So hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully the pivot and the pivots are what I feel most confident and comfortable with. You know, calling like actual fucking like crystal ball targets is not really, that's not real trading. That's not real analysis. That's mostly bullshit that people try to sell you on YouTube. It's all about setups. It's all about setups and statistics, sir. Gemini Athlete says FTM 4 hour daily weekly. Sure. Did we look at this one earlier? Was that another Sam coin? Phantom, whatever. Yeah, again, you know, another very good long-term coin, but do we break down a little bit here, maybe to like 134? Probably, yeah. Yeah, we did look at this one earlier. I'd be running this one off the 12 hour actually. Any sort of a 12 hour closure basically here or lower below 142.5. And yeah, I'd be looking for this one to correct down to like 130, below 142.5. And I'd be looking for this one to correct down to about 133, 132.5 region. Probably tries for a short-term bounce there, and then maybe, you know, maybe ranges more here for a while. But again, you know, make no mistake about it. Long term, this is very good, like very fucking good. So it's a careful, it's a careful interpretation of this. But where to actually get bearish on this one? Well, below about 105 on a weekly, but that's probably not what you're concerned with. Oh, no, you are looking at a weekly. Okay, interesting. Let's actually go over here. If this aligns with what I'm saying, where these biases coming in. 4 hours down as long as below 152. Okay. 12 hour is going to cross down below 151. Okay. Yep. Daily down below 121. So again, you know, just medium term downside, very likely. Yeah, I would be more on the side of short term downside first. Give it a chance to bounce. Come back to it after that. So hopefully that's helpful, sir. What's up, bots for the win? Please check 12 hour candle. What the fuck? Did I just hear? Looks like a swing failure, taking out stops from 18th of September and closing down. Looks like a bearish setup right now. Yeah, you know, if we look at this right here, yeah, I think you're generally right. And it also did close on a lower high here too, in fact. Let me just double check this one. Yeah, it did. This one closed 48,358. This one closed 48,235. We would actually have even hidden bearish evidence right here as well. So even regular bearish evidence too between this point and this point. So this is hidden between this, and then this one and this one regular. So no matter which way you look at it, which I do think that the hidden variety is going to be more applicable in this case. This is obviously a complex bottom right here, not necessarily just like a, you know, one stab down and then back up. Yeah, I would agree. Again, though, I don't think it's actionable, at least for my system, as long as you're especially above 47. I would even say 46.5 on a 12 hour. And yeah, I'd be looking for a bit of downside. You know, again, it's like right now, everyone fucking hates me because if you're super bearish, I'm not bearish enough for you because I don't think that Bitcoin's going to make new lows. If you're super bullish, I mean, I do think Bitcoin's going to make new all-time highs before end of year, but I could, you know, at the same time, I do think it's very, very possible for Bitcoin to play out another downside move. I'm very much open to it with the pivots in mind. So yeah, I would agree with you. And in fact, let's go over here. I did not do this for Bitcoin actually on the 12 hour. Oh, wow. Oh, we did do the lower term time frame. So yeah, 12 hour is going to cross down below 49. So yeah, I'd be a little more on the side of that. My experimental indicator over here, which Caretaker's almost done with, which I'm very happy about, haha, is also giving off a bit of an early warning signal as well. Daily still okay though, to be fair. Okay, cool. Let's see. DC says CHW stock. Is this like the food company? Yeah, Chewy. Man, these things probably fuck this company because they probably ruined my childhood. Like contributing to a fat kid when I was in single digit ages. But as far as the stock goes, it is a bit in free. You know, it is kind of ugly right here, but I'd give it a chance to bounce off the prior lows. You know, monthly, same thing. I'd give it a chance to bounce off here for 64.5 or so. This is not strong, however. This would be more of a downside setup overall, but I do think that, you know, you give it a chance to bounce first. Maybe it bounces even back up to like the 80s or so. Possible. Here's where I'd get immediately bearish and not look for anything more than just continuation of the downside. A closure on a 5-day or a weekly below your last spike low over here, 64, would do it for me. And yeah, I'd be looking for this thing to let a nice move down to, you know, below $50 most likely over the next couple months. Now, what time frames were you on here? Daily and weekly won't be fully vested until 1 year from now. Yeah, daily very likely bounces first. I wouldn't be surprised to see it bounce up to like mid 70s first before anything else, and then come back to it after that. I don't think this one's gonna like break down in 1 week, for example. Weekly, same thing, man. I'd give it a chance to bounce first and go sideways a bit on the lows. What's up, Wally? Hola, sir. Thoughts on ICP for daily weekly? Sure. Okay, so ICP, man, this one got so much bad press because of its release. Let's see where it's at. Yep, it's deserved. And what do we have? We have another lower high in the making right here. We do have hidden bearish evidence popular in itself, and that will be confirmed with any sort of a daily below 48.20. 12-hour will confirm it later in about 5 hours, 54 minutes. Basically here lower as well, and yeah, I'd be looking for this one to grind out the lows yet again, $40.50. At that point, do I think that it reaches lower over time? Probably yes. Again, like we see this on a lot of altcoins. That's also why I'm being a little bit more cautious on Bitcoin. Invalidation on this one is very easy. Back above $52, this would obviously be bullish, looking for big moves up to low 60s. But, you know, I see a lot of cautionary things right now, actually, which I do think is relevant. So fair enough. Fucking buy the dip says, is my Linky still stinky? Let's see. Let's see. Is she still stinky? My old stinkers over here. Oh, shit. It's... Yes, there we go. 26.5. Yeah, it is quite stinky. If stinky means lower highs, any sort of a 12-hour closure here or lower in the next 5 hours, 53 minutes, and 54 seconds. And ticking, baby. We'll do it. Hidden bearish evidence right there. 12-hour jewel, you know, it'll be long-term bullish, but would be corrective for the short and medium term. And probably imply move short-term back down to about 25.25 to 25.5. Very likely a short-term bounce there, and then continuation down to the bottom side of the range, 23.5 to 23. You know, again, a lot of these charts are still rather corrective. 5-day closed good, weekly closed good, kind of similar to Bitcoin, but very, very interesting here. You know, you can see that I'm split because higher term time frames, like, all right, if I'm going off my system, kind of have to be, you know, bullish on a pullback for those. On the medium and lower term time frames, a lot of these are just look like failed bounces, look like corrective bounces within the context of a downtrend. Yeah, 12-hour will turn down below 27.81 officially. 4-hour is down as long as below 27.80 as well. Hourly should be flip-flopping. Yep, it's 26.5 right now. So maybe another short-term bounce right here, but failure to get back above that 27.5 pivot or so, and send her back down, I suppose. Send her back down. Where would my invalidation be? Of course, we always need that just in case, because you never know. Back above about 20, actually 27.5, the same pivot right there. Easy. Not necessarily easy, but fair enough. What's up, Andrew Mo? Please look at economy, not economy. Eco-me. Eco-me. This thingy. This thingy right here is what you're talking about. Eco-me. All right. No time frames given, so I'm just going to roll with this one. Hourly looks good. Daily looks very good. Very, very good, actually. About to get a golden cross. I don't know how much I trust it when it's, you know, barely got any price action information, but I'd be looking at, you know, 7/10 of a cent to 7.5 of a cent. Weekly, same thing. Very, very good right here. Very, very good. 4-hour, same thing. So I don't know what time frame you're going off of, but I'd only invalidate this below about 0.6 of a cent, even on like a 4-hour. Until then, this looks good. One of the better charts, especially for the short and medium terms. What's up, Simply Gains? Why is mid 46 level to break for you and not low 45s? Okay, so why would it be 46 rather than 45? Well, it depends what time frame you're looking at, right? So if you're on a 4-hour here, which I think a lot of people just kind of generally like, I would err on the side of caution, and I would say 45. Yeah, I would agree. If I'm going to be on a 12-hour or daily, the reason why I say 46 in comparison to 45 is mostly based off the Gaussian channel right here. Now we do see the daily is coming in just below 46 actually. The 12-hour, where are we at on the 12-hour? Yeah, 46 as well. Below those pivots, again, I mean, this is a bearish setup on the 12-hour Gaussian channel. And there's, that's just it. But the reason why would be that in combination with continuation divergences that we're seeing populate around the board right here. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Yeah. And I do think that it'd be relevant to be a little bit more on the aggressive side. Everything, with everything considered, going across the board. And one thing that's really gotten to me over the past few days here is that, if you peruse around YouTube, if you peruse around Twitter, if you peruse around Reddit, which I actually do put a lot of weight on, like the general sort of, thought processes there, like what pops up when you're just kind of, navigating around. Everyone's very, 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 very bullish after last Friday. And fair enough, it was a good move, no doubt about that. But, for what it's worth right now, it is just another lower high on any time frame that actually matters, except for the very high term time frames, which are obviously bullish here. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and why I would like to have caution here, but it's not necessarily actionable just yet. Getting close though, getting pretty damn close. Gemini Athlete says, unfee stock, unfee, all right. Sounds unfun, man. United Natural Foods. Is that real? Let's see. Hourly looks like a head and shoulders. Okay. Higher term time for no. I disagree strongly. I disagree very, very strongly, actually. Weekly bullish as fuck. Monthly bullish as fuck. 4 hour. Short term range could come back down to like 47 or so. Hourly, where I'm guessing you're talking about like is your left shoulder over here, head right? I mean, this is like one fucked up Quasimodo looking motherfucker. No, I do think it comes down here to like 47 to 47 and a quarter or so, somewhere around there, and puts in a bounce. But again, that's just a bit of profit taking after a big bad breakout, which this one is, at least in my opinion, very likely having right. I mean, this is a very good move. It's a very, very good move. Yeah, I'd probably be looking for a daily BBWP to cool off a bit, and that probably does come with a bit of a short-term downside range, but that's fine. That's okay. I would only be looking at this one as negated below about 44 and a quarter. So that's where things start to fall apart on that one, in my opinion. What's up, Pablo South? Been a while, man. EXK, hourly and daily. Okay. EXK. All right. We have this baby over here. Endeavor Silver. Is that right? You're looking hourly and a daily. Is that right? Yeah, hourly and daily. Okay. Hourly. Weird. Daily. Ugly. Let me take this off for now. That's not very helpful. Here we go. Okay, that's a little more helpful for where we're at right now. I do think that you're going to bounce relatively soon, somewhere between here and about 365. Not a big fan of it though, long term. If this thing is going to turn around long term, it probably goes through like a very, very prolonged sideways range, like very fucking long. So we're on a weekly right here, and fills this area out in like for like another few years. And seeing as you just kind of tested the top side of this, and technically speaking, it was your last like major breakdown, by the way, just coming in from that breakdown right there. And you just kind of get into the median of the range. I mean, there's going to be bounce along the way, obviously. In fact, you might even see a bounce relatively soon. Let's see. Still bearish right there. What about a weekly? Yeah, I do think that it's setting up for a bounce relatively soon in the next few weeks here, and probably does try back somewhere around $5 or so. Long term, I don't think that it does anything super interesting. Hourly, does it bounce sooner rather than later? Jewel says yes, to be fair. So I suppose that's what I'd go with right there. Invalidation below about 403, and I'd be looking for another retest of the lows, but it is in more of a bouncy area than not, to be fair. All right, cool, sir. Let's see, what else we have? Bonjour. Love it, man. What's up, Justin? I bought 3 lots of Evergrande last Friday. Wish me, oh dear Lord, and wishing good luck and massive profits for all. My fucking man. There we go. Someone who wishes himself well and also wishes others as well. I love it, man. I fucking love it. You're awesome, dude. You're fucking awesome. Oh, I love it, man. I love that sort of positive energy. Let's see. Amen D says AKT USD 4 hour daily. Sure. Okay, this is on Ascendex. All right. You're looking at a 4 hour and daily. Okay, daily ugly. 4 hour ugly. Coming back down to 3 and a quarter or so. Probably puts in another bounce there. If you do start to fail below the last low, I'd be looking for a move all the way down to 260 to 250-ish region. But for right now, it is in somewhat of a bouncy area. Just short term, probably test the lows yet again. Probably bounces here if I had to guess at like 3.25 to 330 or so. And I'd be looking for a decent upsize move, short term, back above about 380 in this case. Looking for moves back up to 430, maybe even 450 or so, and that would look okay. But in the context of the current market, I'm a lot more inclined to be looking at this as hey, what's up, BK? Sorry about that, man. I didn't mean to miss you, but yeah, just had some early morning mishaps there. We can look at Luna, sure, and we can also record this one as well. It's Elsa's fault. All right, ban Elsa. Go back on fucking vacation. Get the fuck out of here. It's men only right now. No Elsas allowed in my cave. No girls allowed. Get the fuck out. Luna, good as fuck. Terra Luna, symbol LUNA versus the dollar, looking like one of the more powerful charts that we have seen today, actually. Daily's looking for continuation right here. Daily RSI back in the bullish control zone after playing out the hidden bullish divergence off the prior low into new highs. Nice, not bad. Certainly not bearish in this case, long term. Weekly, very fucking good long term. Hidden bullish divergence on the last low. Well, that's, I'd argue, it's already played out. Really, really good over here. Monthly had a phenomenal close as well. What about the lower term timeframes? Lower term timeframes bullish as well here. So this one is pretty much bullish on every time frame. Invalidation on a 4 hour for a little bit of a correction below about 42 and 15 cents. And I'd be looking for a move perhaps back down to 38 and a half. But this one looks bullish on all time frames. This is really, really good. The strong get stronger. Strong gets stronger. I guess I already have one over here. Let's see where are we at in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, next areas of interest to the upside is going to be about 48 and a half. While I do think that things would probably play at a bit of a short-term pullback from there, all things considered, because we are on a daily, obviously, I don't think that things would actually stop there. I actually would be looking towards $60, maybe November, maybe December, something like that. See what we got over here as well. I just want to see if this colludes with what I'm saying. 12 hours, hey, show it to me. 12 hour Stoics up as long as above 41.75. Okay, looks rather likely right now. Daily's up as long as above 36. Good. 4 hour is also going to be fresh crossing back up above 44, especially. So yeah, looking good, man. This is among the best charts that we've seen today. Not bad at all. Again, no reason to invalidate this as long as you're especially above that, basically just $42 on a 4 hour right there. If you do take that out, it's not necessarily bearish. I'd just be looking for an exploration of just below $40 or so and come back to it after that. Hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Terra Luna. Let me take a sip of this, man. My voice is starting to leave me. Johannes Burkhardt. Actually, we already spoke about the moons. If you want to look at them over here, we actually technically don't have the bare moon just yet, but yeah, it's either today or tomorrow, whatever it ends up being. The old moons, the moons did it. Super Ghoulie, what's up, man? Rumor has it that 0754 is acquiring Evergrande and quadruple sixes. Jesus Christ, man, that's a devilish combination. My small position of quadruple of Evergrande is now suspended. Hello, sir. Can we please have a look at SHIB? Sure. All right, that would be rather interesting. That'd probably help out the not so bearish case in that case. Let's see, scaling. That's got to be a new exchange. The fuck. I guess Binance is the one to go to. What do we have right here? We got a pump and dump on the loose, but this one looks like it's probably ready to pump again. It likes to find its liquidity somewhere around 950 to 960 or so. Does it pop back up there? Probably, yeah. Kind of funny. This thing's actually looking, well, I don't know if I'd say okay. Actually getting a downside jewel signal right there, but it's not supported by DMI, so maybe plays at a retracement down to 790 first. But man, I never feel confident on a chart like this. I mean, generally this thing's going to trend towards the bottom end of the spectrum, but for right now, does it extend this run maybe a little bit more towards 740 to 760 region, just because that's where it likes to put in its highs? Maybe yes. I don't really have a strong opinion on this, to be honest with you, man. And actually, short term is more downside angled. I would be looking for first downside move to like 800 or so, and then maybe this just falls over after that. I wouldn't put too much faith in this thing, for reasons. But other than that, man, I really don't have a strong opinion on these sorts of things. They are pump and dumps at the end of the day. So pump and dump will be a pump and dump, my friend. What's up, Giohana? NFT project VV with symbol OMI on the daily. Okay. NFT project VV with symbol what? Is this a thing? Okay, that's not a thing. I know OMI is a thing. Yep, there we go. EcoMe. Yeah, we actually already looked at this one. Really, really good though. It was probably, yeah, this one's probably one of the better charts of today. Nothing bearish about this, man. I'll be looking. Hey, why does this motherfucker not say, for the love of God? Piss me the fuck off. Seriously, what the fuck? Probably looking at 6.6. Or that's 6.6 tenths of a cent. Maybe a bit of a pullback there, but this is a continuation. Very, very good. Very, very good. Among some of the better charts we've seen today. Fucking stupid ass trading view. Jesus Christ, man. Get your shit together. Yeah, it's continuation. Yes, I'm on my period. Like, save my shit for the love of God. I have first world problems and I want them solved now! Lilith's Music says, hey buddy, what's up, man? Got in at 14 bucks on FLT on ASX. Okay, got it. Thank you for specifying the exchange, sir. Oh, you're looking good, man. You're looking real good. Could we get a potential monthly targets? This thing, I think that you actually probably bought the low. If I'm being honest, man, I think that you actually bought the low. All momentum oscillators bullish. You even got a big jewel signal there as well. Yeah, you know, this thing probably does find a bit of resistance at like 26.5 to 27, but I don't think it's going to stop there. This is going to be a death cross fake out. I shouldn't say it's going to be. It's very likely to be. You know, this is a really good setup right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing, you know, find its way towards like mid to deep 30s in the next half year to a year. But I don't know what sort of a time frame you're on. Quarterly, same thing. You know, if you want to be safe, like just around 27. But this one's showing some good signs of bottoming here. Big volume spikes on the bottom as well. So I expect that this one does travel up a bit. You got a phenomenal position though, man. That's the more important thing. You literally bought pretty much the low. You basically bought the first higher low on a monthly. Like that is phenomenal fucking trading right there. Seriously, like that is just phenomenal. Just fucking phenomenal, man. And it already put in a higher high right there as well. Yeah, beautiful. Beautifully done, sir. Beautifully fucking done. What's up, Miguel? Hi, automate my trading more. Spot trading, limit buy, Kati at... Hey, wait, what are you saying, sir? Spot trading, okay, an example, limit buy Kati USD one day at the 56.56. Obviously, this order needs to be filled before I can sell at 60. Any workaround to automate this better? I mean, you can buy a bot. You know, there's going to be issues that come along with that because usually the bots that you can buy are pretty flimsy, man. I mean, the problem is when finances are involved, like you don't want shitty programming because if it goes wrong, which all sorts of things can go wrong, man. Like I was working on my system when I was an actual market maker authorized trader, cost like $5,000 or $6,000 a fucking month. And that would go down, you know, I wouldn't say all the time, but frequently enough to where it's like I needed another system, which cost another $1,500 actually. And everyone had it like that. So most people had like 3+ systems. I had 2. My mentor had 4. he had live vol. He had our MJT. He had Knight, and then also Derivex. And like sometimes 2 of them would go down at the same time. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, as you know, as for your question, automating my trading more. I mean, look, can it be done? Yes, absolutely. But you know, just be aware of the risks because a lot of the bots that you can buy for like $300, they're probably not too good. You know, it'd probably be a better idea to like consult with someone who actually has experience doing the bots and like can prove to you that they can do it. And then yeah, you can do something like that. You know, but like automating it through just like putting in orders. I mean, technically speaking, you could do something like that, right? Where it's like, okay, you have your limit buy at whatever bullshit price, and then you have a limit sell that's like a close only order. So that, you know, if your buy doesn't get hit first and and the price jumps back up to your limit, or sorry, your close only order, then it won't fill. Then you also need obviously risk management as well, but you can do the same thing there, just close only. But then again, it's like, well, probably covers you there, but just be aware of the risk, man, because a lot of the time something will sound good in theory, but when you put it to the test, you know, it really only takes one time for it to go massively wrong and wipe out your account as usual. So hopefully that was helpful, man. What's up, Shelwan Kim? Matic USD for our daily, sir? Sure. Check it out. My Maddox. Fuck, I changed around my thingies, so it's got to be here because it's an M. What do we have on the daily? Hidden bearish evidence populating itself will be confirmed with any sort of a closure, basically below 127, 12-hour probably front run that in this case below basically here, 127, same thing. And I'd be looking for a short-term move to 120, probably a short-term bounce there, and then come all the way back down to the downside of the range. I don't like, a lot of these charts are very corrective looking. So we've seen a few that have been very bullish today. Absolutely. No doubt about that. 4-hour stocks remain down as long as below 133. 12-hour is going to be freshly down below 135. Daily is going to be up as long as above 106. But where do I invalidate this? Back above about 130, 131.5 is where I'd invalidate this. Until then, man. Short term, like very short term, does it even bounce here? Probably tries another bounce at like 120, 124.5. But just be aware of the 12-hour and daily right there, man. Those are those are looking kind of nasty, at least for right now. So it's a long way left to go to closure. A lot can happen, obviously, but just be aware. What's up, Gemini athlete? Ren 4-hour daily. Okay, Ren USD. All right. Let's see. Looks almost exactly like the same low-term time frame chart as the other one. However, higher-term time frames are massively different here, to be fair. With that said, we're going to have regular bearish divergence right here between this point, like all these highs right here. So it probably does come down to 105 or so. Daily, same thing, bearish divergence populating itself. Any sort of a closure will, below 117 will confirm it. First target would be 106.5, and then second target would be like 98.5 cent region. Long-term, pretty good. But it is interesting to see that you sold off on the same sort of liquidity grab that you saw in early April right here. Because a lot of the times when you see that, you're going to come back down and grab the liquidity on the other side. And that's rather far away right now. So we won't talk about that. But 4-hour, yeah. Sorry, looks like you're down to an hourly. Might try for one more short-term bounce off of 110. Personally speaking, I'd put my faith in the 12-hour and daily right here. And, you know, if those play out, I'm looking back down around about low $1. Long-term good though, long-term pretty damn good, but how long can that take? Maybe a few months. If if those signals do start to play out. Yaz Mazu says HNT USD Helium for a daily week. Nice, got it. Man, everyone's giving time frames today. This is great. This is excellent. This is really, really cool. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, you said daily as well. Okay, for a daily, weekly. Long-term good. Again, very, very good long-term chart. So I want to make that very clear at the outset. Where do you find something like this if the rest of the market comes down, which has not triggered those events just yet, obviously. So where did I start to look at right here? Yeah, you know what? Below about 19.5 is where I'd start to look at this one as, another just range play, basically, where sells off. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me just chart it for this time frame right here. Sells off on the top side of the range, comes back to the bottom side of the range and finds liquidity there. For the short term, though, not really. I'm not really necessarily looking towards that as long as you're below about 1940. Now really probably gives another test down to 1960, so right around there. Again, long term, I do like it. Like this is good long term. It looks like, but I do think that it comes. Yeah, I actually do think that it comes back down. The only way that I'd invalidate this one is coming back and closing on a new 4-hour high at about 21 and 75. If it can do that, that would look good. But until then, man, getting a lot more downside signals here than not. As Bitcoin dances around 47.6. Shell Wong Kim says SRM USD for daily. Okay. Serum, another Sam coin. Serum. Same chart here. Same chart. You see like a fractal of all these charts basically. All right, should I chart it for this time frame? I'm guessing this is on like a daily or weekly here. Whatever it is, I mean, same thing. Pops up right to your prior meltdown area, rejects from there. Probably gonna find its liquidity on the other side. Do we have hidden bearish divergence here? I don't think so. No. Yeah, we don't. So again, long term, it's going to be in the relatively strong camp, yes. But look, man, any sort of a closure here or lower by end of day, I'd be looking for this one to have a nice move down to $7.90 first, and then very likely find another low at about $7 even. 4-hour, get a chance to bounce first. Maybe another short term bounce at about 8.25 to 8.20 or so. Weekly still long term bullish, man. Weekly still pretty damn good long term. So. Again, long term, very, very good, but short term, does it play at a little bit of downside at the very least? Probably yes. Invalidation on this one, easily back up about 910. Look good. What's up, Jack? Good morning to you as well. Ethereum, yeah, let's do a little bit of an Ethereum, huh? We haven't done that just yet. Let's see. I think I got my butyrolls over here. Here we go. Alrighty, let's record this one. Here we have Ethereum, symbol ETH versus the dollar, and we have an interesting chart going on right here. Again, long term, especially with the way that this one closed the monthly and quarterly, I do like it, and it is more or less bullish long term. Let me actually just pull it up over here. Where we're at in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, did close above the top side trailing band yet again. So 1, 2, 3, almost working on 4 quarters now. Could easily have a retest of the top side trailing band in this case, which is currently coming in around 2,700 or so, or a backfill on last quarterly open. But overall long term good. Now, if we go down to the shorter term timeframes here on a daily, we are still operating on lower highs, and it is very interesting to me to see that this lower high coming in on yet again another weekend pumpola. Just an interesting observation. So do we have potential hidden bearish divergence here on the daily RSI? Well, this one made a high of 56.72 versus this one right here at 56.50. Technically no. What about on this one over here? Just to double check, 56.73 versus 56.48. No, it is not populated there. So again, long-term good, but 12-hour is showing some hidden bearish divergence right here, and it will be confirmed with any sort of a closure here or lower in the next 5.5 hours or so. And that would have a short-term target back down to about 32.20 or so, very likely a bounce there. And, assuming that you do close below about 3,200, I would extend that target all the way back to the bottom side of the range and play out the retest of the top side trailing band, just below $3,000 actually. And if I did call it right now, I do think that that's what's happening. See what Mental Monster to say over here. And then we can come up with some areas of invalidation on something like this. Daily will be up as long as above 28.50, so looking rather likely. 12 hours is going to be down as long as below 34.69. Okay, that's basically your high thus far. 4 hours is going to be down as long as below 34.60 as well. And hourly is going to probably flip flop around here, so probably short term bounce at around 33.50 or so on an hourly, but I'd make that more like 32.50. So where would I invalidate that and basically be looking for this one to trade sideways in a range and then probably break it out to the upside? And we can talk about $4,000 targets again, back above 3,400, sorry, 34.40 to be exact. Even on an hourly would probably do it for me. That would look pretty damn good. But until then, a lot of these bounces are looking still corrective. Higher term time frame still very good. So make no mistake about it. Like I do like the higher term time frames. The weekly is really fucking good over here actually. Actually the weekly is so obtuse to what I'm saying right now. It would be a very easy call to look for a move back down to like 2,800 if this one does break below about 32 on like a 4-hour closure. Until then, the setup is there, but it's not necessarily actionable just yet. Same thing on the 12-hour as well. So be aware of those, of those areas of interest and validation points, as we might even see it in the next little bit less than 5.5 hours right here. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. Simply Gain says, I'm short from 49 to 8. Jesus Christ, you literally sold the actual top. Did you actually sell like literally the top? Pretty much, man. Holy shit. Typically only one person gets to sell the top. Looks like you were it. Needs daily close above. I'm short from 49 to 80. Needs daily close above 50K. Do you mean for you to take off your position? Fair call. I don't think that you need to wait at least that long. I think if a daily close above 49, it's probably gonna push on through, and you're probably gonna see a big move to the upside. So fair enough. But cheat their own. Yeah, you said 50 and I'm saying 49. What's up, Kendrick? Dominicans are back, baby. Haha, what's up, man? MKR daily. Okay. MKR, let's see this one. All right, MKR daily. Yeah, again, another lower high in the making right here. I don't put too much faith in that death cross that's incoming, but I do put some faith in this hidden bearish divergence that will populate with any sort of a closure below yesterday's low, which is basically 24.90. You're looking for a short-term move back down to 23.65, and then probably a short-term bounce there, and very likely continuation back down to 21.80. Again, long-term, you can see an obvious range going on right here, like very long-term, right? Something like this. Okay, not relevant to this area right here. I'm just talking about the weekly right now. Something like this, and put another wick down around here would be completely fine. Especially as long as it holds this range long-term. This would be really, really good reaccumulation, but probably not going to be resolved anytime soon. Where would I invalidate this and be looking for general upside? Probably back up to your 2,800 plus regions. Let's say back above on a 4-hour closure above about 25.69. Just a great number right there. But hopefully that's helpful, sir. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was not clear. We've looked at Kati like a billion fucking times though. But we can do it again. Why not, man? Why not, Mr. Miguel? Probably looking for a short-term downside move to 50 cents daily. yeah, a little bit of a correction here, probably bounce off 50 cents or so. Same thing on 12 hour. Yeah, generally good. I mean, it's among some of the better charts that we've seen today again as well. But does it play out one more move down to like 50 cents? I do think that's rather likely. I'd invalidate that back above about 60 cents, but not much edge on a trade like that. Depends what time frame you're looking for. But I'm getting more downside signals here. 4 hour Joule is halting your shorts and volatility is increasing. What is that way? Let's see. Monsieur Jean Ballon says Darrow USD. Sure. Okay. On KuCoin. Darrow. KuCoin for all of your shitcoin needs. Actually, not so bad. At least on a 4 hour. Not so bad on a daily as well. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. Let's see. I'd actually be generally bullish on this one, especially as long as you're above about $20. Below $20, I'd be looking for another corrective move all the way down to like 18. But this is again among some of the better charts we've seen today. Actually, weekly's just weekly's fine, man. Long term good. Long term pretty damn good. What time frames are we looking at here? Daily. Okay. Well, let's just look at the daily then. Yeah, no reason to be looking for any sort of like prolonged correction on this one or failed breakout. As long as you're above about $19, below $19, yeah, I'd be looking for a move down to 16, maybe even lower than that over time. But for right now, all higher term time frames looking generally good here. Other than that, I don't really have a strong opinion on this chart. Just there's not like just straight it just generally goes up is what it does. Let's see what the hourly looks like. Hourly probably tries to put in a low right here, man. This one's good. Definitely one of the better charts that we've seen today. What's up, Wally? A dream of mine is to join your team and work alongside you one day. It's possible. However, we're not necessarily hiring right now. I grind every day to learn and improve. How can I achieve this? Much love, sir. I appreciate a very aware question like that. And of course, like we want to work with people who want to work with us. It just really comes down to like filling out needs that we don't have, right? Filling out needs. So obviously, when it comes to like our actual team, when I think of our team, I think of our app over here. We have our developer, we have our designer, we have Elsa and Stephanie as our customer support. And you have myself. But right now we don't necessarily need too much. If you are a programmer, there might be some ways to fit in. As we do have some programming needs, but at the same time, I believe that they might have even been already taken. So I'm not sure. And also, I don't even know if you're a programmer to begin with. But yeah, we're always open and stuff like that. Just needs to be like a good fit, right? Salmon Crunches, what's up, man? Can we check out the daily and weekly on stock AFRM? AFRM. There we go. Affirm Holdings. Okay. Pretty good here on the hourly, but what time frames are you looking at? Daily and weekly. Okay, got it. Okay, we're not time frames right there now, are we? Daily getting some downside signals. Weekly, not. Okay, here's what I'd put my faith in on the monthly right here. Obviously this is bullish and very likely does make new all-time highs into end of year. Does it happen from this current price point right here? I suppose you could be looking at about $1.10 as as a bit of a basing point. Meaning that if this thing does come back down and close a daily below about $1.10, I would be looking for this thing to come down significantly and fill the gap over here at about 93.5, maybe 92. But overall, long-term bullish. So it really depends what you're looking at. Daily and weekly actually isn't helping me out too much, to be honest with you. It's the monthly that actually gives those biases rather well. Lower term timeframes say sideways and up first for what it's worth, but I know that that's not necessarily the timeframes that you're looking at, but that's where I'm actually getting some more actionable signals there with more well-defined pivots, again below about 110 on a daily is where I start to look for this one to correct a little bit more first, and fill that gap, and then come back to it after that. Until then, things just generally look good there. A little bit of a newer chart to be fair as well, but not bad. What's up, Craig? Craig says Bitcoin BART potentials are. Is there a BART potential in this case? Well, it depends. Which way is a BART OLA in this one? I guess in this case, could a BART be to the upside or the downside? Is there a potential for it? Well, right now we're getting a little bit of hidden bullish evidence off that last low, so probably does play to move back up somewhere around about 48, perhaps. Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to do that, maybe even from this current price point right here. But I really wouldn't call so a BART in the context of this typically going to be an opposite move. So in this case to the downside. I'd still be looking for what I spoke about earlier. I don't think that this is actionable until you start to get 12-hour closures below about 46.5. If you want to be super aggressive, maybe a full hour below about 46 even, or 45.5 if you want to be super conservative, I think. Other than that, I just don't. Is it a potential? Well, of course, everything's always potential in a market, in a market setting, right? The question is it actionable and is it relevant right now? No, and that would be kind of my pivots for making it actionable, at least in my own trading regimen. So, to be fair, like you do have a setup for a move here. There is a move fucking coming today. Extremely likely. We see BBWP on the 4-hour all the way at the low. I mean, coming off of 0 percentile reads right there. Momentum oscillators are more on the bear side, to be fair. Let's see, same thing on CME here too. Yeah. Interesting, very interesting. Okay. Let's see. Salmon Crunches says also daily weekly on natural gas. Okay, what ticker are you using for natural gas? You're just doing this natural gas futures like this. That's on MOX. I'm not going to know exact. Are you talking about like oil? Talking about this? It could be a lot of different things, man. Could you be more specific with what ticker you're looking for? Just go to oil. This one actually used to trade next to me. That is weird. Don't remember it looking like that though, but I remember it didn't really move all that much. But yeah, man, let me know exactly what ticker you want to look at, and then we can do that. I'm actually looking at the bottom of the comments right now too. Okay, sweet. Hey, what's up, Meccan? Nice one. Oh, you. All right, let's see. And yeah, I'll wait for that one, sir. Nuke Tech says ETN. Sure. When do you think to profit? When do you think to English, sir? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not so sure what you mean by that, man. When do I think to profit for ETN? I don't know. Are you long or short? I'm probably looking for this one to correct down to like 1.8 cent. Monthly is long-term good. So, downside moves should theoretically get picked up. 4 hours down, 4 hours probably coming back down to 2 cents. I don't know exactly what you mean, man. If I'm looking at a weekly, probably comes down to about just below 2 cents or so. 1.8 to 1.9 cent or so. I'll be looking for bounces around there, but I don't know what you mean by when to profit. That's kind of going over my head right now, man. Sorry about that. Hey, what's up, Bear? Good morning to you, man. Good morning to you, sir. I just read your report, man. Really, really good stuff, and actually really, really helpful. Kendrick's back again. Yeah, Nimbo did a great job, man. Nimbo did do a great job, and massive appreciation for that. I'm still waiting for, who was that? Salmon Crunches to get back to me on which ticker he wants to look at. Shelly, hey, what's up, Shelly? Seller, yeah, we can do that one. From across the pond. We're actually, are you American? If you are American, then we are across the pond. But if you're in the UK, we're on the same pond, baby. I'm in Finland over here. Looking good here on seller. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up, probably like 1.6. Yeah, good move here, actually. Good move on this one. Yeah, already kind of tagged the lows at 137. Is it ready to break through those? Real question. That I'm not so sure of. Here. Volatility says that it definitely could happen, but I want to see this expand. We are getting more bullish momentum signals here. I'd want to see either a closure above about 1570, and then yeah, I'd be looking for a move up to 16.5, maybe 17 cents. Daily's generally good here. Weekly's generally good as well. Monthly very good long term. Just depends what time frame you're looking at here. You're looking at 1 to 2 weeks. Okay. Looking at like the bi-weekly chart, is that what you mean? Generally long-term good. I wouldn't be really looking for this one to go into its next melt up phase to new all-time highs until you get back above about 17 cents. But this is very obviously a healthy correction right here based off of Daily Jewel and also BBWP. Both suggest that this is a nice and healthy correction. So I don't really have any real reason to be looking at this one as like turning down as long as you're above about 1360, and then yeah, probably looking for a move all the way down to 11. But this is good for right now. I just don't know if it's necessarily ready right now. It's a question. Let's see now. Where the fuck on ETN I was saying when will it moon? when moon? maybe around end of year, this thing probably tries to put in some new highs. I mean, it's not bad on a monthly, even though I'm predisposed to say that a chart like this or just a name like this looks like garbage, but it's not. It doesn't. Long term, like when does it moon? I don't know what moon means to you, but I'd be looking for it to probably retest prior all-time highs, maybe make new all-time highs around maybe November, December region. You want to look at total? We can look at total market cap. Let's see what we have over here. Total market cap on what about it? I mean, it looks like another lower high to me, man. Like this is again, it's more corrective than not, and we will have hidden bearish divergence here. Or sorry, will we? Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm getting the right point. 58.26 versus, yeah, it would not be actually, but you know, how would you confirm this is a lower high? Well, closed today below about 2.1 trillion, and then yeah, I'd be looking for a general move back down to 2 trillion even, and then below there. Until that happens, though, I have to go with it as it is. You know, sideways here is fine technically speaking, but it's right on the precipice there. Well, he says, "Hey man, all good." Well, the thing is, I'm not really looking to be a mentor to anyone other than what I'm already doing, to be honest with you, just because like I've done it once in the past before and it's actually really fulfilling, but it does take a lot of time, and I'm not really like, the thing is when you do it on a one-on-one space, it's like you don't really have too much time for other things, and I think that I could do more by not doing that. And what I really want to do in like the next year, like once I move into my new house, I have plans to like actually want to write out everything in like a book format, not for trading, actually just for like shit in general. And I think that that's going to take all my time, to be honest with you. But I do appreciate that, man. I mean, that's you know, that's very humbling. It's just, you know, I suppose the best way right now, man, is just, you know, hang around here, and I'm sure, you know, things just, you know, the people that you hang around with is people that you kind of turn into, right? Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. Girls are so fucking crazy, okay? If you don't say we, you're like, oh, is it just you? It's like, what the fuck? Do I need to be extremely precise with my language at all goddamn hours of the day, for the love of God? Jesus. What's up, Jev? No, obviously I changed plans since last we spoke, which was yesterday, that, sorry, you can't come in just because of a flippant comment that I said on the internet. Like, girls are crazy. Girls are fucking crazy. I mean, girls are amazing, but they're also crazy. That's the problem. And so are guys. I'm the craziest. I'm the fucking craziest of them all. Now, where the fuck is Salmon Crunches? I wanted to hit his comment, but I see he still hasn't come back. Yeah, I wanted to know the exact ticker that he wants to look at. God hates you? Probably not. God probably is indifferent, if I had to guess, man. God is love. Okay, you got something for me? All right. See what you got. See what you got. Give it to me. What's up, Lando on Fleek? That is a great name. What happened to On Fleek? Flat Enough says, also, the ticker for Bitcoin Cash is BCH, and they rebranded to eCash. Ticker is XEC. God damn. Why are you sending me bullshit? Why is this relevant? Why is this relevant? Look, it looks like shit in the same way that it looks like shit for its whole fucking life. This is the real chart right here, because you can't see long-term history on this. This is one of the worst charts I've ever seen in my life. As bad as it gets. It doesn't get much more bad than that. Hold on, that's not fair. Hold on, that's not fair, because that was BCH up. Yes, we did get Ethereum, and I recorded it as well. This one over here, you know, if you're looking at Bcash, I mean, it's probably going to range on the lows a little bit more, but look, man, if everything else in this market goes up, it's going to go along with it. Back above $800, it's going to be fucking bullish, you know? Just, is this thing actually good? I mean, for whatever reason, a lot of people have been fooled into thinking that this is the real Bitcoin. Well, I think if you do a little bit of Googling and whatnot, it's probably not. Daily looks like shit. Very likely coming back down at 500. You know, it's not great, man. This one's obviously relatively weak. Monthly says back down to like 420 or so. You know, you just have to be looking at a lot of these things and thinking like, okay, well, if the market goes up, like obviously this one's going to go with it, but is it going to be relatively weak or relatively strong? Well, history would say relatively weak. I mean, you know, I think a lot of people are sold on something like this, and obviously, well, you have Bitcoin over here. This is the Bitcoin chart. Your Bcash chart. It's like, ugh. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Hey, all good, Mr. Wally. I appreciate that, man. Awesome, man. Fuck yeah. I like that is a really good attitude, man. I mean, some of these are insane. Elliot Alderson says BSV is the real Bitcoin. It used to be Bcash until they changed it. Okay, so there's like, this is the problem. Like so many people have, there's like an incendiary discussion about what even is the real Bitcoin. So then it's like, is it Bcash or is it Bitcoin SV or is it Bitcoin like ABC or is it Bitcoin Gold or I don't even fucking know at this point. I mean, if this is the real Bitcoin, then you're kind of fucked. That's the, I don't know if you want this to be the real Bitcoin because according to the chart, we are wrecked. Yeah, this thing is. We did not do Ethereum Bitcoins. Yeah, we can do Ethereum Bitcoin. I'm gonna guess that was Jack. Okay. Long term still good, but I suspect that you're probably asking about short and medium term after, because I know typically what you ask. Short term, do we come back down here? Do we come back down towards 6 spot 9.5 maybe? I don't know. Let's go over here. Over here. This chart looks kind of bizarre to me. Nope, I'm on the wrong one. There we go. Let's see. Daily will turn down below 6 spot 6, or sorry, 6 spot 7. Probably not happening today. 12 hour will be down below 6 spot 9. Okay, the 12 hour is showing it right now. I don't. Okay, yeah, the 12 hour is looking like a bit of a high right there too. I am more inclined to say down first. Again, long term, I really like this chart. I really don't have anything new to say about the long term for like the last 3 months, which I suspect that you already know. But short term, I'd probably be looking for this one down to about 6.96. Probably tries for a short term bounce there. Assuming that you fail below there, I'd be looking for a move all the way down to your prior wick lows and grab some more liquidity over there. But this does start to look like a more formidable low in the making. It's just, does it grind it out a few more times? Probably yes. Where did I invalidate that and generally be looking for another move to the upside? And pretty simple one in this case. Back above about 715 on a 4 hour would do it for me. Looking for moves back up, you know, to 7.25, 7.3. I mean, it just generally looked good after that point and probably works way back up to the top side of the prior range. But in this case, I'm inclined to say it's a little more likely to move to the downside just based off momentum. Also, it is here. Extremely short-term time frames, maybe gets one more bounce up to 707 or so. Roger Bear is missing. SV is the real thing. Interesting. The chart looks bad, but it's because it is somewhat abandoned compared to Bitcoin. Okay, so if it's abandoned, is it real? But still limited supply, so there's that. I mean, plenty of coins have limited supply. I'm not sure that necessarily makes them the real Bitcoin, though. I don't know what is the real Bitcoin, but this chart over here is the chart that I'd want to own over the other ones, is the way that I put it. So, I mean, people can argue over which one's the real Bitcoin or not. Look, you have at it, man. Maybe Bitcoin SV is the real Bitcoin. Perhaps yes. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I'd rather have this chart over here long term. Is probably what I'd do. Let's see. It's usable. The rest aren't. That's weird. I mean, El Salvador seems to be using it. Maybe not super successfully though, but fair enough. Hey, what's up, Salmon? Okay, there we go. First natural gas ticker in the drop down would work. Okay, you're talking about the one that trades on MoEX. Talking about this. Oops. What? I can't spell. You're talking about this right here? Maybe you're talking about this. I thought that you'd be talking about like futures or something. Is this a breakout? I think it might be a breakout. Dare I say it's a breakout? I think it's going to give another test towards 640. Monthly, yeah, monthly is a breakout, man. You know, might play at like an intra-month move back down to like 540 to 550, but long term this is very good. This is a reversal right here. If you're going off the quarterly, very obviously reversal as well. Short term, can it play to move down to like $5 though? Yeah, it can, but that would be an obvious area. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. And to be fair, I probably would be looking for pullback first. But long-term timeframes, which I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're asking for, are very, very good here. But hey, man, if you're talking about like things that are manipulated, I can tell you that oil and natural gas are some of the most, and I have a strong aversion to ever trading them ever. I don't really trust TA on them, although trends do seem to work rather well, and this one is reversal right here, to be fair. What's up, Solta? I'm a degenerate. SLP, please. It's money AXS game. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. What we got over here? Smooth Love Potion. All right. Smooth Love Potion. Looks like it's putting a bit of a short-term low here. Probably does work its way back up towards just under 10 cents. I could extend that move a little bit more. I mean, it's a pretty ugly chart, to be fair, but does it extend the pity bounce here? Probably yes. Time frames. So no time frames given. Yeah, short term probably puts in another move up here. It does look like a bit of a short term low. It's just, I wouldn't call this a short term bottom. Just short term low probably puts in another rally. Probably tops out in like the low teens if I had to guess. But then again, we're probably getting way too ahead of ourselves right now. All right, I think it's time for me to wrap this bitch up because my voice is already leaving me and we're 2 hours into this bitch as well. So let me see how many videos I have first and foremost, because we got 1, 2. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, we have plenty. We got plenty, sirs and sirs. Let's wrap this bitch up over here. Let me slow you this down. The problem is, man, we don't really want sales reps. Like I don't want to like have a salesman vibe for one, and I also don't want to have like full on marketing for my programs here, because I don't want people who otherwise wouldn't be interested in it, like if they had to hear like a fucking advertisement for it to be, you know, to go and get it, because for the most part, man, like most people should not be in it. And like I feel like when you do a marketing campaign or anything like that, you kind of try to, you know, you're basically trying to get as many people as possible to buy, and it's like that's not, at least that's not the way that I want to handle my business. I don't need to sell to people who don't fucking need it, right? Anyways, let's do this for Bitcoin right here. Again, I do appreciate that, man. You know, you're thinking outside the box. That's awesome, and I want to encourage that. That's just not what we're trying to do. Okay, here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, of course. And what do we see? Well, we see a few things going on right now. Of course, Bitcoin is still, technically speaking, working on lower highs on your 12-hour and daily. Now, with that said, all higher term time frames still bullish. Here's our 5-day right here, obviously. Here's our weekly from last night's closure as well. And we did just correct down to the 10 simple, and technically speaking, should be targeting the prior highs on that last rally from early September, which is actually a little bit past the early $50,000 territory. That'd actually also be in line with your technical target from the daily Challenger bands as well, which would be just above 50,000 bucks here too. With that said, I do express a little bit of caution with what's going on right now, although it is not actionable at this exact moment, but the 12-hour and daily still operating on lower highs right here. And the problem with this is that we actually will have some hidden bearish divergence also confirmed on the 12-hour right here if Bitcoin does confirm a local high. So how would it confirm a local high? In this case, I would say a 12-hour closure, basically below this last wick low over here. I've been saying 46.5. You could make that 46.7 in this case, would do it for me. And I'd be looking for a nice move down to about 45.5 after that. Very likely a short-term bounce there. And at that point, kind of have to be looking at that as very likely to come back down to bottom side of the prior last week range. Definitely possible here, especially with the Evergrande situation and just the Chinese market in general, looking like it's a bit under pressure right now. On top of that, if we go over here and we check out momentum also just for Bitcoin specifically, we will see 12-hour Stokes turn down with any sort of a closure below about 49,000 bucks. 4-hour is also going to be down as long as below 49. And sorry, this is also consistent on CME, freshly below about 48,200. And hourly should be... Yeah, it's actually down here on CME as well at 48,500 as well. So, you know, always need to come up with an invalidation on the other side. And I would generally be looking for sideways range, which is, you know, more or less good here without breaking below 46.5 on a 12-hour or daily. Maybe even can make that on a 6-hour as well. And I would be looking for Bitcoin to essentially reach towards those next, you know, 50,000 plus targets. Back above about 48.5 on a 4-hour closure here. If I am going to be using a 4-hour to kind of judge a lower high in this case, I would be a little more conservative and say 45.5 would be my angle for that. And this is also consistent with what we see on the Gaussian channel right here, especially on the daily. You can see that Bitcoin's rejected the top side of it thus far. And typically speaking, when you reject the top side of it, you're going to go test the median of it at about just around 46. So if Bitcoin does start to break below 46 especially, that's where I really start to look for this one to come back down to the bottom side of it. And I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but that would be my conditions for that. Obviously, it's not actionable right now, but it is it's a possibility here. As we do see, this is for what it's worth, still a move that's operating on lower highs on the 12-hour and daily. All of the higher term timeframes are bullish, and I can say the same thing about the quarterly as well. Quarterly, I would feel very comfortable and confident saying that Bitcoin very likely makes new all-time highs before end of year. Would that come alongside of another move down to low 40s or even into the 30s as well? Yes, absolutely. I mean, on the quarterly right here, we do have, of course, our last quarterly open at about 35,000, and all quarterly reversals have been met with a back test or a backfill on the last quarterly open or around there. In this case, we see it over here, January 20, backfilled on the next open almost immediately. This one over here in January 2019, not backfilled immediately, backfilled actually in coronavirus sometimes over here. By the way, that was before making new all-time highs as well. And it always happens before making new all-time highs, just as an aside. Same thing over here, backfilled immediately. Same thing over here, backfilled immediately. Same thing over here, backfilled immediately. Same thing over here as well. So for right now, something that does hold a lot of weight like that, I do definitely look at as a possibility. But of course, is it the most likely thing to be happening right now? No. There are more long-term signals for upside than downside, obviously. And I wouldn't, and even if Bitcoin were to come down and play to move like that, I do not believe that Bitcoin is like playing out any long-term downside move. I don't think that Bitcoin's going below $30,000. So it's, as always, I'm not bearish enough for the bears, and I'm certainly not bullish enough for the bulls. And fair enough, man. You listen to this content at your own peril, I suppose, if you do want to, play the cheerleading game here. But as it stands right now, there certainly is a setup for a move like that. Understand where the pivots are, understand where the invalidations are, and for right now, just short term, just a bit of sideways right here, and that is completely fine. I only start to get concerned, or it's not necessarily concerned, but looking for those moves to populate themselves below 46.5 and 45.5 more or less on a 4-hour in that case. With that said, first target wouldn't necessarily be, that backfill. It would be somewhere back down around low 40s, like 41 to 42,000 bucks, and then come back to it after that. Speaking of Bitcoin, well, not doing all that much right here. So there you go. Anyways, with that said, I think I'll leave you off right there. Of course, be aware of this over here perhaps as well, and also be aware of the leverage ratios here too, as I do think that is rather compelling right now. Hope that was helpful, and see you soon. Alrighty, sirs and sirs, it's been an absolute pleasure as always on this nice little Monday. I am hungry as fuck and my throat is killing me, so I'm going to sign off now. Elsie's going to maybe wave in the background. Oh, there she is. She's going to the moon. She's whoop whooping as well, and I will see you hopefully very soon here too. With that said, take care, and until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, flip, unflip it, see it, what